Right.
Ohayou gozaimasu! Say we got 15 minutes until the green flag. I'm RJ O'Connell. That's Ryan King and Cam Buckley. We are three quarters of Motorsport 101. And in these next 75 or so minutes, we'll be taking you through the first hour of the Rolex 24. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for joining us. Be a good one. We got Rolex 24, which means you got drivers who, even if you are not a hardened fan of endurance racing, you will recognize dudes from IndyCar, dudes who were recently in F1, dudes from the WEC.
Dudes
Good
from
car
NASCAR.
variety, five classes, 61 cars in total. Good field. Driving standards have been pretty excellent so far in practices, a qualifying race, Michelin Pilot Challenge. God, Robert Wickens is back on a racing podium. I'm
Oh,
so
hell
happy for
yes.
that. If you
That
missed it,
is one of the sights of the year, as far as I'm concerned. And we're in January.
yeah, if you missed it, Robert Wickens in his first full carbon race since his injuries finished third in the TCR class in yesterday's 4-hour IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge race. Very big congrats to him. Very
I mean,
big
what can you even
congrats.
say? I mean, it's been a long time coming, but we love Robert Wickens here on this podcast. And to see him back in a racing car and to be successful gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart. And I need that warm, fuzzy feeling because, in case you don't know, I live in New England right now.
So do
And
I.
outside, it looks like the day after tomorrow. No
Bombo
cap.
Genesis.
Cruel snow angels thesis in this case.
Bombo Genesis. We are all inside. It's like the 79 Daytona 500. The entire East Coast is covered in snow, so all we've got to do is watch cars go around Daytona.
Ooh, sports cars. The traditional weekend that starts the motorsport year. Just had some decent Formula E. It kind of ended flat, but you know, it
We
happens.
did. We did. Formula E was decent. Emmett's 5 Cup was Emmett's 5 Cup at Daytona.
Our MX-5.
Our Emmett's 5. Just want to go through the official results of the first MX5 Cup race from Thursday, where the top 4 finished within 123 thousandths of one another. You know, just normal MX5 things, but we're not. But today we're not talking about we're not talking about MX5 Cup, not extensively at least. We're talking about the Rolex 24 at Daytona. 2 different GT classes, one for all pro drivers, one for professional and amateur drivers. The LMP3 class, the LMP2 class for professional and amateur drivers, and the DPI class, which of course are manufacturer prepared cars with manufacturer engines driven by all
Yep.
professional drivers. That is your main class. And
Yeah.
IMSA.tv is live.
Fantastic. Our coverage is live, and we have that big, beautiful shot of Daytona International Speedway.
Now, you may or may not be able to see it because I don't think we were sadly unable to secure the rebroadcasting rights with express written consent of IMSA. But we will have a clock on screen, so that way, if
Oh, the
something ridiculous
flex.
happens,
The flex. Did you just see what was on Elio's finger?
the 4th Indianapolis 500 ring. Yeah, like I
Yep,
said,
there's Simon's.
dudes from IndyCar, you will recognize.
Mm. We got dudes from every discipline of motorsport you could imagine. Eventually, hopefully, we can get Sebastian Ogier in this race. I mean, he clearly ain't stopping racing anytime soon. Who's that dude from NASCAR?
Jimmy Johnson racing with two-thirds of your reigning World Endurance champions, Kamui Kobayashi and Jose Maria Lopez. Ricky Taylor has Alexander Rossi and Will Stevens, two-thirds of the Manor Racing 2015 squad alongside him. Daytona International Speedway, which they are about to show on the MCTV broadcast. 12 turns, 3.5 miles roughly. A fantastic. It's suffice to say, this is the most acceptable roval that there is in motorsports.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes, new news as of just like this past day. Um, in honoring their tie-up for next year, because of course this is the last year of the DPI class before it is replaced with GTP, baby.
new
GTP
GTP.
back. Um, Le Mans and Daytona are trading names. Now the bus stop at Daytona is the Le Mans chicane, and the first chicane on the Mulsanne Straight is now named the Daytona chicane.
And already people have said, no, we refuse to acknowledge these new names.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be calling it the bus stop the whole time. And let's be real, the chicanes at Le Mans change names like every 2 years. Everyone just calls them the Mulsanne chicanes. I don't know. They didn't give up the international horseshoe. It is international after all. And of course, weather conditions for this weekend looking very clear but very cool. Very cold temperatures for this year's Daytona
Amazingly
24.
enough, it does get cold in Florida. Do not let
Terrifying,
Governor
I know.
DeSantis tell you otherwise. We got a couple of pro classes, the new GTD Pro class. These are GT3 cars and a GTE car that's been jerry-rigged to be a GT3 car, kind of. Who do you like to win this category? For me, I know I'm personally biased because I got to spend time with this organization, but KCMG's Porsche 911 GT3R, Lawrence Vantor, Patrick Pilet, Dennis Olsen, Alexandra Paratori, they were good in the qualifying race. I like their chances to win the big one.
Hmm. I'm same manufacturer, but I'm gonna go in a different direction. The I can't believe it's not a factory 911 car of Pfaff Motorsport, the legend, the lumberjack of Felipe Nasr in preparation now for his Porsche LMDH drive, which will be coming next year. Matthew Jaminet and Matty Campbell, legend of the Bathurst elbow.
No way is he going to make it through there.
Well, he did. That's my pick for the class. King, what are you thinking for GTD Pro?
Oh man, I got a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling. Since the qualifying race last week, it's going to be one of the Corvettes. They
Ooh.
feels like they've been
Yeah,
sandbagging.
It's been an ongoing story how the Corvettes just can't seem to go in a straight line until night practice where they demolished the field by like 0.6 of a second. They were also given 27 horsepower in a BOP change during the course of the week, and then were setting the same lap times.
Yeah,
At
the
Daytona.
additional horsepower came before the qualifying race, and then after the qualifying race, they kept the horsepower but added weight.
Yes. Also adjustments to the new for this race BMW M4 GT3. Avert your eyes and avert your stopwatches. They have not been particularly quick, but given this is a 24-hour race.
Now hold the phone, because if you are
Mhm.
watching IMSA TV, you are seeing a prototype of some variety going backwards, exiting the pit lane.
Oh,
I cannot
is that
tell what this is.
I believe that is the blue LMP2 car.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Amateur drivers and high downforce prototypes is going to be a running theme of this race. But it
Tell
looks
you
like
what,
they've
with no
gotten,
back window, he aced that.
that's fantastic. Okay, 7 cars in DPI's last ride at Daytona, and me and Cam have fallen into the same hive mind. We're picking
Yep.
Ricky Taylor, Felipe Albuquerque, Alexander Rossi, Will Stevens for Wayne Taylor Motorsport to win yet again at Daytona.
Yeah. The last race here for the DPI's Daytona Prototype International. Of course, next year we get the IMSA GTP class consisting of the LMDHs. We've seen one, we've heard one. We now have details of Porsche's LMDH. We also assume that there will also be the Le Mans hypercars for next year. So, in this year, we have the 2 last and the 2 best of this era. The Acura ARX 05 and the Cadillac DPI VR. The 2 cars that have just beaten, bashed, and broken this field so badly that everyone else has decided to go home.
Commiserations to those from the Nissan On-Road DPI and Mazda DPI programs. We miss you very much.
Mazda reduced to mere poster fodder for this year's Sabring 12 Hours. King, who are you reckoning in the DPI field?
It's stacked. Remember,
It
there are 6 other cars in this category. There is, in fact, another Acura.
Yes.
Is there really another Acura? It feels like it
It's
is
another
Wayne
Acura
Taylor.
that's got-
Okay.
They got
I will say
Elio and
Shank
Simon.
Shank have been a lot better this year than they were last year. They were rough for most of last year. But clearly the Acura supremacy as far as that camp has been with Wayne Taylor. And Wayne Taylor is going for a unprecedented 4 wins in 5 years in this class. Actually, that's a bold-faced lie. That's what they have. They're going for +1 on both of those.
5 and 6.
Give me 1
5 out of
second.
6, which
I'm
is,
gonna add the feature that we need the most.
That's right.
yes.
We have got our clock on the camera. It is synced up with Insta TV pictures. So as what we're talking now is in sync to what is going on in the race. So, if something ridiculous happens and you want to clip our reactions to it, you can. That's totally fine.
Going for that real endurance racing feel here. There's Lake Lloyd. Not going to say what's going to happen there next year. As an inside joke if you're in our Discord server.
Yeah. We are, of course, the podcast that laughs at our own inside jokes. It's fine. We're not the only ones. It's cool.
Us and everyone else.
That's cool. So I think we're all so did we all go in on the 10 car?
Yeah. It's hard to
All right.
I'm thinking just with the depth of that lineup as well as the car they have, because let me tell you, GP2 engine, it is not up on that banking, and when the Acura gets out in the lead, it is a tough old bastard to pass.
Yeah. It's only real Achilles heel is wet conditions, and it's looking to be dry all race long.
The big thing for me, actually, is the cold conditions, because being the only turbo prototype here, it's going to love those cold conditions.
Loving it. But if it's not the 10 car, who are we picking?
I think it's very tough to look past the number 01 Chip Ganassi Racing Cadillac.
That is Renger van der Zande, Sebastian Bourdais, Scott Dixon, and Alex Palou. 3 past IndyCar champions, including a reigning IndyCar champion in 1 car. And Renger van der Zande, he can wheel.
This is probably his best track.
I'm going with the 48. Mike Rockefeller's won Le Mans. Jimmy Johnson is a box office star. Kamui Kobayashi and Jose Maria Lopez just won Le Mans months ago, and they just won the World Endurance Drivers Championship. If any Cadillac's going to win it, it's going to be this one. We're coming out of what is formerly Le Mans chicane. King, who's your second pick behind the 10 car?
Has to be one of the 2 Ganassis.
Because when you lump all those great drivers into one car, you'd think you'd be starving for talent on the other, and that's Earl Bamber starting that car. Oh shit!
2-time Le Mans winner, Alex Lynn, GP3 Series champion, Marcus Ericsson, an IndyCar winner, Kevin Magnussen, a veteran of several seasons of Formula One. We have cars coming through turns 3 and 4 in the oval, which means we are about to go racing for the 60th time the 24 hours of Daytona. It's not always been a 24-hour race, but it is the 60th in the lineage of endurance sports car racing at Daytona. And there's only one way we could start things off.
Cars are a little bit out of sync here on the start, especially the P2 field. And the 10 goes. And we're underway for the 24 hours of Daytona.
That doesn't
Big
get
jump
old.
for the 10 car.
We have our GT field starting behind them. So now everybody's been let loose. Unlike last year, we didn't have a stack up further back in the GT pack. We are good.
Oh, Vautier is going to try around the outside, and he gets it done on the 10 car.
That is Tristan Vautier, former Indy Lights champion, IndyCar Series alum, has been in this series, in this category for a number of years. Very quick, not always the most consistent driver, but he is so quick. It's Kamui Kobayashi.
Ooh, and he squeezes Albuquerque out. And up onto the banking. 2 Acuras running in formation.
This may be good for them. But, of course, it's still very, very early. Jeremy Shaw is positing the idea that maybe that number 10 Acura may not be up to tire temperatures just yet.
Wouldn't be surprising in the extremely cool temperatures we've got. And everything looks to have just calmed down a little bit at the head of the field. First lap goes to the number 5 Mustang sampling JDC Miller Caddy.
Yeah, I have to remind myself that that's not an Action Express car. Yeah, even though JDC Miller has run this car for a couple of years.
Yeah, keeping the same livery, some of the same drivers, and the same number, but different team. Ooh, that WeatherTech Mercedes with the big speed.
That is NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year candidate Austin Cindric in that car.
He's going to try it around the outside. He's going to position on exit.
But that's Ben Barnicoat. You might recognize him as a McLaren Young driver. And Barnicoat's going to get the move done.
Nicely done.
Oh, so close.
I think they just avoided contact right there between the next Lexus and the WeatherTech Mercedes.
Dude.
Number 12 now under fire from the rare Aston Martin Vantage GT3.
Yeah. These are functionally the same category of cars in GTD and GTD Pro now. So the big difference, because this may be somebody's first Rolex 24, this may be somebody's first engagement with IMSA. The Pro-Am class has green number plates. The All-Pro class has red number plates. And
and there's that Acura speed on the banking all over Kobayashi now is Albuquerque in the number 10.
Yeah, Felipe Albuquerque, a very, very quick driver in his own right.
Yeah, I mean, if they can mitigate the Cadillac speed on the infield, I mean, look at the speed here. Ooh, a little bit of a double move there from Kobayashi. Nothing worth a penalty, but hard.
I think Kobayashi held his line. I think Albuquerque was trying to sell him the W to the inside before pulling up outside.
Something, 24-hour sprint race.
Oh, yeah. There are plenty of bingos because, of course, there are many, many a terminally online sports car racing fan out there. including us. It should be said.
Hopelessly online.
We're online right now.
We're online right now, as a matter of fact.
We're inside.
We're inside!
Should get us some camera feed on it. Very close between the number 63 Lamborghini and number 9 Pfaff Porsche. Oh, speak and you shall receive. These cars are nose to tail right now with a McLaren. I think the sole McLaren in this race, right up the gearbox.
There are two McLarens in this one. The orange metallic one is run by Crucial Motorsports. The other is the black and red Inception racing car. But that orange McLaren is the one that leads its class. So yes, you are going to have a situation where some of the All-Pro cars are being beaten on pace by some of the GTD Pro-Am cars.
Fight between Bourdais and Blomqvist.
Tom Blomqvist is a handy driver. People forget that legendary 2014 European F3 season. Ocon won the championship. Verstappen pushed him all the way to the end.
And we've got our first problem, and lo and behold, it's an LMP3.
With a flat left rear. Tom Blomqvist was second in between Ocon and Verstappen that year. Blomqvist has plenty of racing experience, former BMW factory driver, former Formula E driver.
Oh my goodness.
Stig Blomqvist's son, by the way. Nephew.
Of course, one of the dynamics with all these interclass, do not squeeze a P3, is that the LMP3s and the GTD cars kind of overlap on pace for a good amount of the track.
Yeah, they make about the same lap time. They make it differently, and it often leads to some very interesting exchanges in traffic.
As we saw with the 79 WeatherTech Porsche trying to game end an LMP3 through the infield.
So we haven't talked a lot about our Pro-Am classes, and I know we're prone to just like, haha, Dennis drivers, but there's some talent in this field. There's some talent here. Like, I look at the number 81 Dragon Speed LMP2, I see Colton Herta, Pato O'Ward, Devin Francesco, at least 2.5 of IndyCar's best and brightest, and an American driver who shares the same name as a guy who was famously involved in one of Formula One's most infamous bar fights.
Oh, God.
That would be Eric Lutz, but not that Eric Lutz. Nicolas Lapierre. Many years in WC, he's driving the Wins car. Rene Rast and Ed Jones in one of the G-Drive cars.
Oh, the 60, trying to draft up past the 02. He's going to be on the outside for the bus stop. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a new lap record.
Oh, yeah. And it's only 10 minutes in. Well, the likelihood is low that you're going to get a lap record of the a best lap of the race, like, late on. It has happened, but it's rare.
Too dirty. Track is typically too dirty. That was common in the old days because if you were having to run someone down and you were in a GTP, just crank up the turbo and get after him and hope the car doesn't blow up.
That was an old GTP.
There's just something right about GTP being back in the world, isn't there?
Yeah. It's I said it when they announced it. It's a cheap nostalgia pop, but it's effective.
It's the good kind of nostalgia.
Yeah. It's kind of that nostalgia pop that you can only use when the moment's right. Like if only like two manufacturers showed up and they called it GTP, a lot of people would have raised a lot of eyebrows.
It's kind of like how the initial concepts for Hypercar had everybody thinking that this is just going to be GT1 Redux. And that had like all the people that grew up with GT1 in the late 90s very happy until they realized this is, just going to be...
if you're a certain company partnered with a certain team, that has been running up the back end of the LMP1 field. It is just like GT1. Van Wall, back in the world, partnered with Bicars.
Van Wall's car looks sad. It looks sad, or it's just like it's trying to plead for its crush to read their Twitter DMs.
It's just sad that it's being run by the team that famously figured out they thought it was an impossible task, but they broke two Audi R10 TDIs.
Pit work happening early on. I think that is an LMP3 with an unscheduled pit stop.
Yeah, a bit early for them to stop. Given that they're changing tires, I would assume a puncture.
And we're now in the phase where prototypes have hit GT traffic. And now the race really begins.
Yep.
Because you gotta have a certain skill set to be able to make moves through traffic.
So all three of the top GTD Pro runners within a second of one another.
I think
the TV director okay.
I don't know. He's vibing.
I think our camera person on top, I believe some of this camera footage that we're getting is of course from Ray Wenzel Jr., Rooftop Ray. But they're like having a hard time figuring out what to focus on. And who can blame them? There's so much going on.
Yep, now we have all top four runners in DPI kind of converging onto the same screen. We've got two wide into turn one ahead.
Oh boy, Kamui's going to send it up the inside for the lead.
He's going to be blocked by a GT car. Can't quite get the run.
Yeah, got picked.
That would have been very, very impressive.
Oh, he got it.
Yep.
He did get it. And the 10 is going to try and run on the outside of the 5 car. Try and use that power. Cannot do it. Vautier uses one of the GT Mercedes as a pick. Oh, that's hairy.
We're all experiencing multi-class racing and video games and simulations, at least. How much skill does it take to be able to do this effectively if you're in a faster car picking your way through slower cars?
You really need a lot of cooperation between the car you're passing and look at the run here from the 10 car.
We talked about this car.
No, not up against the wall.
This car is slippery, and they're going to tuck in.
Tuck back in and try and get him on the exit of the chicane here. I think there's a little more GT traffic ahead, and then they will be kind of having a clean run into turn one. Maybe not. I don't know if they're going to get there in time.
It's a good crowd. Obviously, IMSA does not have the cultural cachet that NASCAR does because, NASCAR has so much inertia that even in the Depression, it's the most popular form of motorsport by
they actually dipping a wheel into the grass through GT traffic.
But it's a good field. It's a good crowd of spectators that we have in the grandstands. And, of course, plenty of infield warriors in their campers making what I'm sure are going to be good decisions over the next 24 hours and then the days preceding this. Kobayashi is gone.
He's throwing a big march through GT traffic. He's pulled out a healthy gap to the number 5 car. Ooh, I think Vautier is just going to get onto the banking ahead of the Lamborghini.
Bourdais dropped a wheel earlier, but he's got Bamber behind him.
The battle for Chip Ganassi Racing supremacy.
I just like that they're out here paying tribute to Mazda with their color choices. a soul red car and a silver car.
P3 holds everyone up, and that has taken a lot of the wind out of the number 02 car sales.
Yeah, we get another glimpse of the 31 and the 60 car. Oh yeah, the 31 car, it still exists. Pipo Durrani's still in it. Tristan Nunez is his new teammate for the season. And if you're wondering where Mike Conway, the other half of the World Endurance Champion trio, is, he's in that car for today.
31 really just hasn't had the pace this weekend, and normally they are a permanent feature at the front of the DPI grid, but they have just not had anything on either the chip cars or the number 10 Acura.
Oh, they're showing a
my
replay of
goodness.
this. That was
Let's see, because
so...
the 5 car got the run.
Holy
my goodness.
Moses! We were worried that GT car was going to hold up the 48, but Kobayashi maneuvered so effectively that he was able to get that GT car to hold up Vautier instead. That is just...
Scotty nominee.
Put a pin on it. Ask Jason to put a pin on that. Can't get too excited, though, because, again, this is not an hour and 40 minutes. This is not 24 minutes. This is 24 hours.
24 hours.
If you
Don't
know, you
even
know.
invoke that. He's in this race.
I know.
He can hear you.
That's right. In fact, both the people involved in that incident are.
Ugh.
Harry Tinknell, Alan Mitnish protege, one-time Nissan LMP1 legend, Mazda DPI alum, in the number 11 PR1 Mathiasen Motorsports LMP2 with Jonathan Bomarito, another Mazda refugee.
An update. Gap is currently about 2.08 seconds between the Kobayashi number 48 Cadillac and the Vautier number 5 Cadillac. And everything's just calmed down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Another LMP3 in the pits, number 13 Ligier.
Yeah, that car has been in a couple of times. So if you are invested in AWA Racing's number 13 Duquesne, not a good day for you.
Not a good day at all.
They, of course, have Viper GT factory program alum Kuma Whitner.
Oh, right up the inside of the 10.
Good move
from Bourdais.
Sebastian Bourdais is a bit good at this. He's won this race overall, 4 consecutive American Open Wheel Championships, class winner at Le Mans, the race in the town where he was born. God.
Sebastian Bourdais, eternal. Bit like a couple other Sebastians we know of.
Oh, yeah. Weren't they just driving around some subcompacts in the French countryside a little bit ago?
Yeah. Apparently they're still pretty good.
Not bad for a former electrician and retired gymnast, am I right? Our cameras cut back to GTD Pro's battle for the lead between the 9 Porsche and the 14 Lexus.
Yeah, I think the 63 must have been put offline because they've lost quite a bit of time. They're back down to 3rd place.
Hmm.
See if we can get them in the shot here. Yep. Just tailing them through the tri-oval. Go, my lumberjack son. Fly.
The leading GTD is one of the AM cars in the hands of John Miller.
Sometimes I wonder how they thought this class layout out, because the lower class is leading the bigger class right now.
Yeah, send the LMP3s down to pilot challenge.
You know, honestly, that may not actually be a terrible idea. Because I do think that there is a market for LMP3s in North America, but I just don't know if this series is the right, if this specific IMSA championship is the right fit for that category.
Yeah.
As they put on good racing in European and Asian Le Mans series, and it's clear that there is demand for that level of competition. You want to get less experienced drivers into prototypes, but not throw them straight into the deep end of LMP2 if you can help it.
Yeah, but it must be terrifying to be on racing cars like that out in this field with the DPIs out on this track for 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you've got dozens of miles per hour at the end of the straight in differential. While at the same time, they're only a little bit faster in a straight line than their GT competitors.
Do you have the cornering speed, though?
Do they? Because that McLaren is catching this LMP3.
And part of me wants to believe that's down to driver skill.
And fighting for the overall quote-unquote GT lead, we have that McLaren in question, number 59 of Miller, just ahead of Jaminet in the number 9 Porsche.
Yeah. I mean, you did see this sometimes. You have seen this sometimes with the two GTE classes at like the start of a WC race sometimes.
It was bad. I remember a race a couple of years ago when we still had the rear engine 911s in the pouring rain in the AM class, and they were the faster cars than all the GTE pros. Rear engine supremacy.
If there is one car whose distinct sound effect I'm going to miss, it's the 911 RSR. Thankfully, the Porsche 911 GT3R gives us enough flat sits whining. It's a sufficient amount.
Yeah, it can get most of the way there.
Bourdais up the inside of Vautier.
I think Vautier let that one go a bit because Bourdais was not to be denied. And based on current pace right now, Bourdais is going to go get up after Kobayashi here.
So, King, Kamui Kobayashi is going to have a busy year in 2022, isn't he?
Oh, without a doubt, because he's doing multiple different roles and multiple different teams.
So, he's doing all of IMSA's endurance races with Ally Cadillac Racing, but he is also going to be driving for Toyota Gazoo Racing and WEC. But he is also going to be the team principal of Toyota Gazoo Racing WEC while driving for them. And he was assigned a Super Formula Championship drive with KCMG. As our cameras cut right to the inside of the car, Kamui Kobayashi's sweet new helmet.
Yeah,
that is a nice helmet. That's a nice paint scheme. That's a nice race suit. The Ally car, an unconventional but very gorgeous looking machine. And, of course, Coach Kamui. Shades of Alan Kulwicki, team principal and driver.
He's not the team principal of this Ally Cadillac racing car, but he will
Sadly
be
not.
The driver coach of Toyota WEC.
In fact, if he's in the 7 car, it's even more perfect. He really is doing for Alan Kulwicki. I now demand a Polish victory lap of Le Mans. And judging on timing and scoring right now, the only car in the 134s right now is indeed Sebastian Bourdais. 134.979 last time around compared to a 135.9 for Kobayashi. King, your man is flying right now.
Ooh, Lexus making a move around the outside.
There's that Lamborghini.
Oh, gonna try. Cannot get the McLaren while the Pfaff Porsche is beginning to break away a bit.
Man, this first is going to go by so fast. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to be done with this hour in just. It seems like no time at all. But wait a minute. because after this hour's done, we'll be back later in the day to watch the sunset and cars race.
Yeah.
So stay tuned to Motorsport 101 on YouTube for that information.
The two WeatherTech cars are running together. Not that you'd know it, because this year they are two different cars. One is a Mercedes AMG GT3, another a 911 GT3R. They're trying to unite the Stuttgart Civil War.
We've truly. This is the fall of
that
this
P2 is living dangerously around the outside of the Lexus.
Running the Dale Jr. line up top.
Oh my goodness. I think he pulled some paint off the wall. Lamborghini gets the Lexus up into P2.
That's Marco Papelli, Lamborghini factory driver. I know him best from a year in Super GT with J-Lock in 2018, where he was quite good.
Very, very good driver.
Also a SRO Triple Crown champion, winner of the European Sprint, European Endurance, and overall European Championship. I want to say in 2019 or 2020.
It's looking very good for the Volkswagen Auto Group prospects right now. A little Porsche, a little bit of Lamborghini. Only Lexus spoiling the party up front.
Yes, Marco Mappelli did win the 2019 SRO Triple Crown with Andrea Caldarelli, another Super GT alum, who I believe is in the same car as him. Yes, he is. I look outside my window.
In order to let light into my room, I'm looking outside my window, and it's just bad.
Oh, yeah.
The snow is so severe, it has actually caked up my window.
Bombo
So I
Genesis.
legitimately cannot see.
Yeah. The website Universal Hub, a Boston area web publication, has what we call the French Toast Index to
Hold
measure
on
the
for
severity.
just a sec, RJ.
Oh, yeah.
I do believe we already have a RLL BMW in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Car has not come back around. Let's look at timing and scoring and try and find their last lap time.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
This
he's
is
gonna
dicey.
get... Everyone cooperated very well there.
Yeah.
Ooh, 10 cars now. Wait a minute. That's not the 10 car. That's the 01 car. There's my Heimdall moment. We love you, John. We have ourselves a battle for the lead. Please no GM on GM violence.
Yeah, GM has enough history of corporate infighting throughout their entire existence. We don't need more.
I thought the 48 and the 4 were about to end up in the catch fence there.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
I hope not. Margin came down around the last time, but I think Kobayashi's pulled it out to a little more than that 4/10 that I'm seeing.
Yeah, he has a little bit of separation out through GT traffic. My God, and GTD, it's a McLaren 1-2.
Just like
McLaren
Monza.
truly is back.
It's just like Monza.
Well, yeah, it's a road course connected to a historic and legendary oval.
That's right. Monza is a roval.
The true original roval.
It's like how Alex Rodriguez is a girl boss because girl boss has no agenda, but girl boss has agenda.
Oh, and we also have the five car joining the fun. They's cut down the gap a
Heck,
little bit, but still, ooh, bad angle there from Kobayashi. We'll see if the O1 can get a run up on the banking here. Please don't hit the 9 car.
this is treacherous. Um, 30 minutes are down. It feels like barely any time has passed at all. Yeah. Just search French toast index if you or French toast alert system if you need to know like how bad it is. Right now it is a level 5.
Race leader in. Of the DPIs, we've also got the 5 and the 10 car in the pit lane.
Yeah. So there is varying strategy going on. They're not going to change out drivers this early, but they are going to top up the tank. They are going to change tires. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in IMSA, do you have to change tires when you refuel, or can you
You can
do
do it at
one
the same time.
separately? You have to do it at the same time.
Well, I mean, you're better off doing it at the same time. You don't have to exclusively keep your tires on or off.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Because I know there have been some like weirdness with some series that make you that take away the option for you to do either one or the other strategically.
Nope. Effectively, pit rules here are pretty similar to NASCAR. Your main limits are people you can have working on the car, and don't drag pit equipment out of the box.
Yeah. Also, wait, you do you have to can you refuel with the engine on?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because that's a little different because in a lot of other endurance racing series, they do make you shut the engine off while the car is refueling.
Famously, just ask Rebellion Racing about it.
Yeah. There's also no full course yellow protocol, so every full course yellow is a safety car intervention. There's no code 60.
Nope. No code 60s here. O1 car pits lap later. So not too much variance as far as the stint length. Of
Nah,
course,
no,
in the
nobody
starts of
really
these
needs to.
races,
Nobody needs to roll the dice in the first 30 minutes of the game.
no. And usually you'll pit just a little bit early at the start of one of these 24-hour races just to check your real fuel mileage. Of course, the big penalty here, as far as changing tires, is the fact that you have no tire warmers and it's cold out there.
It's really cold. One 134.479, fastest lap of the race from Sebastian Bourdais back on lap 5 if you missed it. Fantastic driving so far. I hope this lasts.
That makes a fantastic noise. I do hope we get to hear it next year in the back of their LMDH. Oh,
Did
Kobayashi.
Bourdais got around him?
Yeah.
Got around him in the pits, but
Buttons
here
on
comes
those.
Kobayashi back around as they
Oh,
transition
and he
back onto
squeezes
the
him
oval.
right out.
Oh,
That's
wow.
bold. That is bold. That is dickish, but that is fair.
That is bold in the second out. Well, still the first hour of the 24-hour.
Yeah. Get temperature on those
But that's
tires.
why
Not a whole
people
lot
love
Bourdais can do, but
that's why
damn,
people love
Kobayashi
Kamui
was
Kobayashi, because even back to his first trial run in F1, he's always a driver who's known to take a lot of chances, take a lot of risks when it comes to overtaking other drivers. He was famous for that in F1 to the point of it being a positive national stereotype. Um, but he is one of 3 Japanese drivers that has an F1 podium finish. He is a world endurance champion. He's won this race twice overall. He's a bit good. I'm amazed he doesn't have a Super Formula win, but he has won in Super GT and his one and only season as a full-time driver.
Maybe his team shouldn't put him on wet tires, thinking, maybe this will be better than going on the hard tires for a certain amount of
And the
laps.
thing is,
Thanks, Yokohama.
oh man, that's a oh! That was
Careful.
Real careful.
that was almost a
Just,
pileup coming out of 3 into the horseshoe.
just a dab of Oppo. Oh, both the CGR cars. Oh, one car still not on the pace, and he's big lockup.
That's allowed Bamber to get ahead of Bourdais.
Bourdais just really struggling on the cold tires, or whether there are further issues here. Oh, 10 cars gonna have to make a choice here.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, Kobayashi got down the inside and just kept running Bourdais further and further out. Very hard racing.
We're going to get a replay of what happened with Kobayashi as he
Ooh.
touches. He got a little piece of that number 34 Porsche, and it sent him just sideways enough.
Just a dab of Oppo.
Oh, man. It could have ended in tragedy in less than 40 minutes. But again, Kamui Kobayashi is a world-class driver, and he could save that.
Little moment, they say.
I don't see any damage.
No.
Television cameras are obviously trying to focus in on that car to see if they can spot anything, but I don't. It looks fine.
No, the worry is, as Heimdall talked about on the broadcast, the cheese wedge, the big wedge of carbon behind the rear wheels, mainly because those contain some of your brake lights on most of these cars. Looks like they are intact.
Damn, I thought they were just actually putting wedges of cheese underneath the cars, which, if you know how hot some of the turtles of these cars get, you'd be wondering, like, that wedge of cheese just melted.
That's just it's just leaving a stink trail for the next driver behind you.
Jesus.
All
20 minutes left in about 21 minutes left in the hour. It's been good so far. No major dramas. Of course, this is likely to change. I have a habit of falling asleep because I cannot do all nighters.
Hmm.
And I'll wake up later in an endurance race and everything seems like it just caught on fire and exploded.
That tends to be how it goes. That's my friend who woke up only to see an LMP2 leading overall at Le Mans 2017.
Oh, gee. I think I woke up in the middle of the night to one of the Porsches breaking down that put the LMP2 in the lead that day.
I was there. That was about 4 hours left. That was during the day.
I really thought they had it in the bag. But then I
Oh,
remembered,
no.
Porsche has another car.
Porsche has another car that spent an hour in the pits.
And it still won.
Oh, an LMP1H can't lap Le Mans 3 minutes 19 for nothing now, can it?
I promise we're not going to turn this into sports car racing boomers reminiscing about the good old days. But man, we did not know how good we had it in LMP1H.
Yeah.
I mean, some
Look,
of us did.
we're looking to the past with an eye to the future.
Yeah.
Because things should be very, very good next year. Things are pretty good now. This race has been plentiful action.
Yeah, one of the other
Ah,
big stories
yes.
for the future. Ford is back in top class endurance racing, but not with a GTP, but with a GT3 Ford Mustang.
Oh, Chevy, you are legally barred from killing the Camaro now.
You are legally obligated to make a customer racing Corvette for GT3, if that's what you mean.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, while they develop that, we have the C8R, which has been strapped with about 4 pianos.
Yeah, but it's totally a GT3, guys. I mean, it's totally a GT3.
Well, no, we can't like lay in on them for that when like BMW's
Oh, Kamui, stop dipping your wheel in the grass.
the Z4 GTE was basically a GT3 that got special permission to race in GTE in IMSA.
But that's an upward move.
Yeah.
That's
It's strange, but they don't want to go to a whole new category without the franchise, without the Tiffany brand of
A tire won't like that, Kamui.
GT racing uh, on the outside looking in, or just having to compete against themselves, which they've done twice in the death throes of two different GT categories. And I remember being there for the launch of the C8R, and they were saying, yeah, this could be jerry rigged into a GT3 car if we need it to be. And they've done it. I don't know how effective it is, but it's
So
a long
far,
IMSA season.
not. Lamar, Daytona, help.
Huh. Felipe Albuquerque and Luis Felipe Pipo Durrani, two drivers who should know each other very well by this point. Pipo's developed a bit of a reputation the last few years because in 2016 he was genuinely brilliant for a young driver in his early 20s. But lately, it seems like Pipo Durrani uh, does not know a gap that he will not try and put his car through.
There is no gap that he will not car. Speaking of which, deep on the brakes. Oh, 10 car got balked, and that's gonna
Ooh.
let the 31.
No. Got
Say
picked by the
31. The rear of the 31
McLaren.
was in the rear of the 31 was in the air on the exit of that corner. What are we looking at, TV director?
We vibing.
What?
Um, I know that there are some bits where. Okay, yeah, we're back to cars. Bamber and Bourdais. What a fun combination of what a fun driver lineup that Ganassi has for their 2 car operation. Bourdais and Lynn in 1 car, Bamber and Van der Zande in the other. No, wait, that's Bamber and Lind in 1 car and Van der Zande and
Yes.
Bourdais in the other. I am what shows you is that I am very smart and keep track of so many things very well.
It'd be easier if they actually put notable liveries on these cars rather than just looking for inspiration and going with LMP1H liveries. Monochrome and red, baby.
Monochrome and red never fails. Whelen
I'll say the
Engineering
O2
did the
car
same
does look
thing.
nice.
Yeah. Like I said, it has hints of that Soul Red Mazda that was on the grid up until about a couple years ago.
Ooh, squirrely under braking from Kamui.
I think Kamui's got this under control.
He didn't in that corner. Just regroup here.
It's a hard transition coming out directly out of the triangle, braking while you're still turning a little, and then trying to get it slowed down for a pretty tight left-hand corner.
Then try it in rain, where all the water pools down there. It's got a very healthy gap to Vautier behind.
Tony in the chat asking how do you say bing bong in Japanese?
Inga ponga.
Yep. 6.3 second gap back to Vautier. Another 3 seconds back to Bamber. Time score is actually about to update here. 4.7 actually, after that moment in turn 1.
Oh no.
Oh, that's the
That
18 LMP2. Heavy damage. Left front wheel looks deranged.
and that obviously is going to be a safety car.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
without
in
a
a
doubt.
really bad spot. Got it going again.
That's Dwight Merriman in the 18.
Thankfully, there's a good section of runoff there that people can get around him.
And it looks like he's steering it. He's okay. I don't know if he's going to try and get this thing back to the pits.
Gotta try. Yep, he's got drive.
Oh, that Merriman was the guy that spun it on the outlap. That's
He's the guy
not
who was
this.
going backwards on the exit of the pits. What's happened
He's got
here?
it. He's got it in drive. So he's behind, and then
He just
just
outbroke himself, locked the rears, and nosed
and
it
then
in. Thanks, TV director.
and I think
Now, this is not like Le Mans. You are allowed assistance.
yeah. You famously do not have to pull what the legendary Satoshi Motoyama did and try and fix your Delta Wing with nothing but a box of hand tools. People love that shit, but here you can actually get
Pain.
assistance. Dwight Merriman, in case you don't know, he is an amateur driver. He's an entrepreneur and racing driver, best for known for co-founding an advertisement company called DoubleClick Incorporated, and he is currently the founder and chairman of MongoDB Incorporated, an American software company that develops and provides commercial support for the source available database MongoDB, a NoSQL database that stores data in JSON-like documents with flexible schemas. And he still writes code to this day.
Pour one out for my coworker, Pat. His snowblower just broke.
Oh, rest in peace, snowblower.
Not the day. Not the day that you want that.
With the indefinite absence of David Heinemeier Hansen, I think it's Dwight Merriman, sports car
Holy
racing.
fucking shit. Tom
Almost.
Brady's retiring.
Oh, wow. You heard it here first on Motorsport 101. Tom Brady is calling it a career.
Tom Brady is done. Not in that town, not in this town, but every town. Man, sucks if you're a Tampa Bay fan. Your team's done.
Yep, you had 2 good years. Goodbye.
Bye. Back to
Skip Bayless just destroyed his house.
back to the bottom of the NFC for you.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, we did still have a corner worker down in the accident. That's
I
not
say
fun.
right where that hit was right at a steward's post.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Hope they are okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same.
Look, Aaron Glanville in the chat. Can't wait to tell my friends where I heard about Brady retiring.
You're welcome. Well, cross it off the bingo card. Full course yellow / safety car in the first hour.
I'm just glad we got our earth-shattering other sports story out of the way early this 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last one we had during one of these races was not good.
No, that was 2 years ago.
I said the last one of these that we had.
Oh.
Did we have a crazy sports story during last year's 24?
I think so. Was it the Australian Open during that race?
Was it?
No,
I
no.
don't know.
It was right as the 24 was concluding that the Bryant family's helicopter crash happening. I think that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, as I
Jeez,
didn't
that's
think
been 2
anything.
years already.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of anything that had happened post 24 last year.
Yeah, I did spot a corner worker that was kind of winded, kind of like crouched down, but like still alert, and I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, now the news is just hitting that Tom Brady's retiring.
And
Which, of course,
he will sign a 1-day contract with the Pats.
Okay. That's good. Okay, is everybody okay in that shot? Was that all four of the marshals that were there, including the
I
one that
think
was
so.
down?
I think
I,
so.
I really hope so.
Who do we have? Is this everyone? It is everyone.
Yep. There is no reason not to come in.
Mm.
Let's top it. Let's top off the tank.
So I don't really expect anyone to take tires here unless they are in trouble. .48 car is rolling, which you're really not supposed to do in the pits. Say, look at that grass.
Pristine.
Yeah, give it a few hours. Oh, that's an angle for the Risi Ferrari.
Yeah,
Are you gonna
we're
back
having
that?
All three cars are horrible. What happened with the Wins car?
It's not quite Sportsland Sugo pit lane chaos, but it'll do. Andrew Marriott, who is 206 years old, as pit lane reporter for the international broadcast, just cannot believe the amount of traffic that we're getting in here. It's amazing. Okay, Mutual is actually at the track, going to one of the food vendors. Chicken tenders and fries at $12. Hot dog at $5. I mean, yeah, it's a sporting event with overpriced concessions.
Tell me something I don't know.
Oh. King, you have plenty of experience in iRacing.com. Does this ever happen when multiple cars pit in?
Yes, almost always. If it wasn't for the fact that cars go transparent in the pit lane, in the pit lane itself, it would be total chaos. Well, I should specify when I mean pit lane, I mean the pit boxes. The rest of pit lane, yeah, you could run into people, and it happens constantly.
The M4 pace car is out on track as we count down the final
Cover your eyes.
seconds of this first hour of racing. Oh, they got the lime green car. They have multiple pace cars for this series, just in case one happens to run out of fuel.
Yep, GT's coming in now.
Do we want to keep it here until this gaggle of cars comes out.
I mean, we still have we're still scheduled to go for 20 more minutes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got 20 more minutes of racing. Yeah, we're going to the top of the hour, baby. I'm very prepared. Ooh, geez, I could not work pit lane.
Hmm.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The first hour of the Rolex 24 is completely done. But we're staying here until the top of the hour.
Yeah, then we say bye for 3 and then come back for 2 more.
Oh yeah.
An interesting first hour, huh?
Yeah.
Very eventful. Very eventful.
I'm trying to check social media to see if we got any updates on our corner worker, and already people are so tweaked that NBC would dare cut away after 1 hour to dare show track and field.
As I should be. Fuck track and field.
Whoa,
This is the
whoa!
only track. This is the only track I care about.
Going in the business for himself.
Yeah, Marshall Pruitt did mention it.
Yeah.
There's people asking for updates on his tweet as we speak.
Yeah. God, I'm hoping for the best. $7 for a lemonade at this stand and a
That better
large bush.
be. That better be some fucking fine ass lemons going into that lemonade.
You better be pouring some vodka into that lemonade.
For reference, domestic beer $9, large bush beer $11.
Bush. That's criminal.
Yeah.
Sicko behavior.
They gotta get the funds to pay Kevin Harvick together.
I mean, I did pour myself a bud earlier for the LS7. RIP LS7 this week.
Ah, hell yeah.
See where everything shakes out is so to try and see what the actual order is. We still got some cars circulating that aren't in position. Mention that sentence to any Formula One fan.
Oh, Mikey, that's so not right. No, Bowser, that's so not right.
Edelman just tweets, "Thanks for the memories, babe."
So Gronk's retiring too, right?
Almost definitely.
What's the point for Rob Gronkowski to go on at this point when he could go back and win the WWE 24/7 title?
Oh my god.
There are people that like don't know football, and when Rob Gronkowski did like a advertising campaign for Dunkin' Donuts, they just thought Gronk was like a mascot character that Dunkin' Donuts had created by just hiring this big burly actor to basically be the himbo mascot of Dunkin' Donuts.
To be
I would say if you looked up in a Urban Dictionary himbo, Rob Gronkowski.
yes, it's like we need the off-brand himbo John Cena. Rob Gronkowski is your guy.
I still love that commercial with him and Big Poppy.
That's Baseball Hall of Famer David Ortiz,
And don't you fucking forget it.
Seattle Mariners legend.
You see, this is more or less what conversations devolve into during caution periods in our Discord server. Just other sports, because, well, as much as I
One of
like
us
watching
went into
Coach Kamui, as much as I like watching Coach Kamui warm up some tires, it is kind of monotonous.
Yeah, and I'm here multitasking, watching the stream status, the chat, and
Thank you,
working.
King. Thank you, King, very much for this. I think we all really appreciate it.
Yes, and I
King,
really appreciate.
where can we find your work?
Yes, jalopnik.com. You can expect articles over the next hour or so.
What kind of articles do you write, King?
Well, my most recent article was about dash cam footage from a road rage shooting in Miami being released, which had
Oh my goodness, the confidence to shoot through your own car.
yeah. All you have to do is go to jalopnik.com, and it's pretty much the GIF of the shooting itself is the thumbnail, so you don't even have to go that far to see what happened.
King writes all number of different articles ranging from cars that have very important places in American history to sailing, which is obviously not automobiles.
Hey, no? It's still transportation.
Boat Lopnik.
Ooh, we've got pit members on the ground up into the right rear hub area on the number 25 BMW.
No, man, let me pour some beer on the ground for this BMW. Up, camera guy's bored.
He just didn't want to look at the M4 any longer than he had to.
I think we're gonna get used to the M4. We're gonna normalize how the M4 looks.
This car has been here for like 2 years, and it's still just as horrific as the day I first saw it.
When did they first unveil the G version of the M4 that exists today?
Oh, I don't want to think back to that day. There's a time before that day and a time after, and I don't know how to get back.
Because I'm trying to say, like, the world has not known stability and peace since the M4 was revealed. The correlation is not necessarily causation, but, you know.
Let's take a look. Reviewed by that. First units were assembled in November of 2020. When I was introduced as a concept before then.
Tom Brady's last NFL action was coming almost led an improbable comeback against the Rams in the NFC divisional playoffs. but not quite.
And then his team, which was all dancing in the other team's end zone, blew the game for him. Because, of course, they did.
Damn. And I think we're going to get back to some racing to cap out the final 10 minutes of this block.
Yep.
Again, thank you all very much for stopping by, but we're going to stay here till the end of the hour, of course.
Yep.
We're not going to cut
current
away
running
just...
order 48, 5, 10, 0, 1, 31, 60, and 0, 2. The Bamber Cadillac all the way to the back of the class. 3-minute 23 lap time last time I know. That'd be real good around Le Mans. And we're back under green.
We're back under green, and Blomqvist just blew past the sit place car. Because that's Bamber, right?
Oh, 10 car is going to have to go all the way around the outside. Beautiful move from Albuquerque. Ooh, they're fighting hard for P3.
I think Bamber's going to try and pass Blomqvist back. I thought he had a look at it at least.
All the defense.
Bourdais just tried to sell Albuquerque like 5 different dummies. And now this is more like the Daytona that I grew up on, which of course is NASCAR Cup Series.
Oh, we're 4 wide.
Oh boy.
God.
The GT cars have chosen violence on this restart.
We're 3 wide.
If cars
We're
sneaking in off above the double yellow line.
We've got a P2 slow up top of the banking.
Yep, it just tried to stay
no.
out of the way.
It's still slow. And breathe.
How steep is that banking? 31 degrees of banking in the ovals turn 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep. Oh,
Oh, that's the United LMP2 that's spun around.
Oh, he's gonna try to cross. Well done, everyone.
We all
This,
made
of course, United Autosports was the first racing venture of a gentleman by the name of Zach Brown, who you may know as CEO of McLaren. Penalties coming. LMP2 ran the red light at pit exit, so that's going to be a stop and sit, Steve.
Oh.
Yeesh.
The 22. Yeah, you can't spin the wheels while the car's up on the jacks. That's a no-no.
That is, oh my, don't you dare, Mr. LMP3. You got the weather tech 79 going for a move on the number 9. I think the 9's just going to let it go.
Yeah.
He lets it go.
Pretty much that's sort of the solid pick move. Force them into a position where they can't really attack the corner because it would be way too dangerous.
So various pit lane infringements all involving what I believe are all amateur drivers in P2s or P3s.
Yes.
What can I say? Being a businessman who drives these cars as a hobby is really difficult.
Especially if you're a Mercedes F1 fan, expecting to spend a lot of money and then just win.
Oh no, we have 5 minutes left in this block and we haven't even talked about the Guy Cosmo bullshit. Guy Cosmo, very good American racing driver, fired after the qualifying race for not only being reportedly slow, but because one of the co-owners of the number 32 Mercedes in the GTD Pro-Am class didn't understand that when they had taken the lead, it wasn't on pace. It was just because all the other cars had pitted, and was shocked when after the pit stop they weren't leading anymore. And blamed it all
Doesn't
on
understand
Guy.
how overcuts work.
Yeah, I think we found our one car that we feel confident is not going to win its class. And it's
If
the
it
one that just so
does.
happens to look like a mid to late 2010s Mercedes AMG Formula One car.
Yeah, hey, you got the W10 livery. Can you just change it a little bit?
This 81 car,
That is
obviously,
a bright fucking car. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Like the camera's having a tough time with that yellow.
and they haven't even put Pato or Colton in the car, or Devlin, King's guy.
King's favorite driver.
Those who
I,
watch the first Save the Freedom 100 know what we're talking about.
I wish I could disagree, but unfortunately, Devlin has some fans that I am terrified of.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I don't know what the
Oh
working
Lord.
relationship. I don't know what the working relationship is between Devlin DeFrancesco and Nintendo mascot Mike Tyson, but
Hey, RJ.
yeah,
Back of this queue, your pick
that's right.
has entered. They've entered the picture.
That's right. KCMG. When I first got the chance to spend time with them, they were driving Nissans. This is definitely not a Nissan, but Patrick Peely is a good driver, and this 911 GT3R is a good car.
Yeah, and kind of the swan song for this generation of 911 out on track because soon, TM, we will get the 992 based GT3R.
Oh yeah.
Please be good.
Please be good.
I think it'll be good. I don't ever look at modern like factory supported GT3 programs and think, wow, this thing's gonna be terrible. This thing's gonna blow chunks.
I don't know. There is a certain car from a certain man from New York that runs in the Nürburgring every year.
But
Technically,
that's
that's
not
not
strictly a GT3
GT3.
car.
It's a GT3 in all but homologation.
Yeah, I suppose.
Dragon speed with a penalty. Drive-through penalty for a pit lane infringement.
Oof. That, of course, is Eric Lutz, but not the Eric Lutz that you're thinking of.
Yes, this is the Eric Lux of Western New York.
It's a Ferrari. It's not a shitbox. It just took the place.
Zedalar VR Corsa,
Ooh.
known for their time at WEC. They got a good crew.
Yeah, that Ferrari that isn't really red.
Okay, so we're starting to come up on 3 p.m. Eastern. Any closing statements before we step away for a bit?
Driving standards have been fairly excellent. Again, I do hope our corner worker friend down at the hairpin's okay. And I hope for more racing just like this.
Yeah, I'm actually going to check on that right now to see if there's been any news. Nothing as of yet.
Okay, we'll keep tabs on it because we are coming back. We're coming back at 6 p.m.
Yep, 6
Eastern
p.m.
Standard
Eastern.
Time. That would be 11 UK time. We're gonna have more people joining us.
Yeah, we're not gonna have the clock take up pretty much an entire box.
That's
Yeah,
right.
in fact, that space may in fact be occupied by another person from this show.
Your friendly neighborhood host, Trey Harrison.
Kind of don't want to step away because this is a really good on-track battle between this Lexus and Ferrari.
Yeah, I'm holding out. I'm holding out.
Both really wide.
We can run it over a little. It's fine.
Please no Punterino. I have to see this penalty for this car in just a moment. So I do believe they have to serve it this lap. And he does not.
Oof. Oh, Lord.
It's still got some time to serve it, at least.
Can't spin the wheels while you're on the jacks. That's a big,
And you certainly
big
can't
no-no.
spin. Yeah, and you can't speed in pit lane.
No. Flashbacks to the 90s editions of this race where there was still no pit lane speed limit. And cars would come off the banking like 333 SPs and the Riley and Scotts. Full chat down the pit lane.
Hey,
Oh, Lord.
'31 V01. Easy money for Durrani. Not quite.
oh no! There's a stack up
no,
behind
no.
him. That's a Ferrari. I think.
Yeah,
What
the
on earth
21.
happened there?
I think Bourdais was in the process of throwing a Hail Mary back up the inside of the 31 Action Express. Let's take a look.
Try one, jump the inside.
Oh,
Oh.
separate.
Just
Good awareness from everybody else to get around that.
yeah.
Yeah. Bourdais actually had to, he was smart to abort that pass attempt. There's nowhere he could go. It was the 32 Mercedes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the Mercedes.
I wonder if this driver's going to get fired mid-race.
No, he took out a Ferrari. He's getting a promotion.
Shit, Toto might hire him. I think that's a good way to cap off this stream.
Yeah.
For
With Mercedes.
Ferrari getting killed on stream.
Right. For Dre Harrison, I'm RJ O'Connell.
I'm Ryan Erikin.
I'm Cameron Buckley. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back a little later.
Yep. See you in 3 hours.